Hey there, all my PopCon peeps. Magic Man Rusty here, and welcome to this live streaming episode of the Magnificent Seven. We're celebrating PopCon Indy's 7th anniversary. That's why we spend 7 minutes with the greater PopCon family. And joining us in the PopCon Corral tonight, a man who sounds like the entire staff of ESPN. I'm your host, Rusty Emmerman, and our Magnificent Seven with Joey Mulinaro begins right now. Indiana boy, Joey, what's up?
What's happening? Glad to be here.
So you are the very first person I've spoken to, a local boy that is part of the greater Barstool community. Man, so tell us how that happened and how cool is that?
Yeah, it's been wild. Obviously, I followed them for a long time, going through high school and college, and so then when I started picking up traction with my videos, my impressions, then they got interested in hiring me. And Dave Portnoy, he's a great dude. He brought me on, and I've been there since March. And so it's been really surreal to go from people that you listened to and followed to now they're coworkers. It's been great.
It's fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some of the same stupid questions you get all the time. Did you always want to be an impressionist? No, I'm kidding here. So you grew up, you got to watch other impressionists. So when you were a kid and you saw this, you thought this would be fun to do. Who were some of the impressionists that really stuck out in your mind in your young age?
Obviously, Frank Caliendo. I've been very lucky to have formed a great relationship with him. He's kind of taken me under his wing. I could do his whole Letterman, bit that I memorized it when I was a kid. So it's great to talk to him. And then probably Jimmy Fallon, Jay Farrow from SNL, the younger guys, obviously. But Fallon is always somebody that was like, oh, okay, he does sketches and comedy, but he also does impressions. So I like that balance that he had.
Okay, well, when you think Frank Caliendo, and he's a heavyweight there in the voiceover world, especially in the sports voiceover world, you think Madden. I mean, that's his magnum opus.
Mm-hmm.
If you had your magnum opus at this point in your career, and it could change, who is that go-to guy? Who is it?
Oof, I'd say I think the greater public would probably say Saban.
Okay,
but I think in my own personal opinion, it would be Coach O. I think from LSU. I don't really know, but I think Saban or Colin Cowherd in the public's eye, that's who they would, be like, oh, Joey Mulinaro. Yeah, those two guys.
Okay, so do you remember as a kid practicing voices, the first one where someone said, oh my God, you sound exactly like him? Do you remember that epiphany moment?
Not that in particular, because I always tell people I was kind of like the living room impersonator, like entertainer, right? So I would always do like teachers of mine or coaches of mine or, so all these, my little group of friends and people in the community, they knew about it and they'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so great. Like you're, now I'm getting into Fallon, but yeah. Oh my God, buddy. So really it started from there. And then the first public one that I did was Andrew Luck, the former Indianapolis Colts quarterback. And that was one of the first ones that people were like, holy cow.
Okay. All right. I promised you I wouldn't like grind the little organ grinder, make you do this, but you've got to do a little, because before we do this, full disclosure, PopCon, I'm a nerd. I'm the Star Trek, Star Wars, Harry Potter kind of guy. I really don't know a lot outside.
Background.
Oh my goodness. Yay, a fellow nerd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So Andrew Luck, an Indiana boy, I got that. So do you mind indulging us with a little Andrew Luck?
Yeah, sure. Can you give me a topic to talk about a little bit? Maybe PopCon?
Boy, it sounds like you picked exactly the right time to retire, Andrew. I mean, you wouldn't be doing anything. You should have stayed along. You get paid for doing nothing anyway.
Yeah, well, it's been really good to be able to be a dad now, and I've been able to sit back and kind of watch everything that's happening, and big fan of what they're doing with the Colts still, but glad that I am not a part of it. I think it'd be pretty dangerous at the end of the day.
If you just had the weird neck beard, it would be perfect.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
oh, that is
excellent.
Spot on. All right. So, is there an impression out there that you wish that you could? Is there one that you like? Man, I really wish I could do that. And you've been working, but just haven't quite tweaked it and toned it yet.
Yeah, a couple football coaches. Jim Harbaugh from Michigan probably be a big one. Trying to start for the future. My future self. I'm trying to get into more of the political realm. I don't want to be political, but I think it's important in this field to be able to do some political folks. So maybe like a Joe Biden. But I'd say him. Yeah, I'd say those two. I'd say Harbaugh and Biden. I feel like if I could lock those down, that'd be really big for me.
Okay, so that would launch off here. All right, so here we go. Do you have any phobias, Joey? Any phobias? Anything scary you?
I'm claustrophobic, I would say. Pretty regular ones. Claustrophobic.
Okay.
I don't like spiders at all. So arachnophobia, I guess.
Yeah.
So really, those are my two big ones.
So you're probably glad you missed the whole phone booth era then with the claustrophobia.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So of all the James Bonds, which one's your favorite?
As sad as it is to say, I'm not a big James Bond guy. I know.
No, that's all right. Okay, favorite ice cream flavor. Let's try that.
Simple, vanilla. Can't go wrong. Little cookie dough sliced in there.
Oh, yes, yeah, I would say cookie dough, vanilla base with cookie dough. Sure. I think though that not all people that don't appreciate vanilla ice cream don't know it's not all the same. Not all vanilla ice cream.
Absolutely, I would agree. Yeah.
When I was a kid, our vanilla ice cream came in a box and it tasted like the box. That's not real vanilla ice cream. Okay, so when it comes outside of impressions, stand-up comics, you mentioned Sue. Is there someone that you just played the heck out of as a kid, listened to over and over?
Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle makes me laugh him just talking is funny. It's hysterical. Him and Jerry Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld's art that he makes as stand-up. You know what I mean? Every word matters to Seinfeld, and I appreciate that.
Right. Yes, Carlin had that ability too. That when you hear Seinfeld and Chappelle and Carlin, it's poetry. They don't just throw a random word in there. You're exactly right. So that's that language is such an important. Somebody once said the difference between a comic and a comedian. I don't remember which one's which, but one says funny things and another one says things funny. There is when those three you mentioned when they deliver, there's a tempo for sure. Yeah. What's your first car you had there in Indiana, boy?
It was a 2003 whitish gray Chevy Impala. Called it the Gray Goose. Yeah.
Really, that was your nickname, the Gray Goose?
I was for it. Yep. Had to have it in high school.
All right, so the quarantine still got you here just a little bit, but what kind of plans do we have on the future there, Joey? Anything you want to tell all the PopCon fans about to look for?
Not yet. I mean, very excited to move to New York. Very excited to hopefully have everything happen, whether it be football season coming up. That'd be very big. Also excited for Mando season 2 in October. So season 2. Right. Yeah, I'll be all over that online for sure.
Do an impression of Baby Yoda. Go. That was fantastic.
The head turn.
That was great. All right. So all the impressions you've done, and man, you have a stable of them. Have you ever got to do an impression of a person in front of the person? If so, what was that like?
I have not. Nope.
Yeah.
I have not gotten to do that yet.
Okay, so if there's one person that you wish you could corner and do that, is there somebody you'd like to?
I guess Nick Saban, just to see his reaction. I would be very intimidated and very nervous because I don't know how he would respond. I actually interviewed his daughter on one of the shows I used to do, and I asked, I was like, okay, so does your dad hate me? She's like, I don't really know if he's seen it. So that's hard to believe, kind of, but I would like to do that for him, I think.
Oh, that's harsh. All right. Well, so cool. So Barstool, they can check out there. Man, listen, as much as you seem to know all the thing about pop culture and nerdy stuff, we need to get you at one of the conventions. Love to have you there for a panel and as a guest. So
absolutely.
So before you go out to New York and get all highfalutin and fancy, don't forget your Hoosier roots here and come join us. All right.
You got it. Thanks, Rusty.
My pleasure. Joey, it has been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Best of luck to you in the post-COVID New York life. And until next time, live long and prosper.